Good evening and welcome to an impromptu stream. Nothing is planned, nothing is fixed. We're just going to take it as we catch it tonight. At the moment I'm just setting focus on the cluster in Hercules, the great cluster in Hercules. Bear with me, I'm just going to swap over to the right screen because I can't see who's on. Right, setup's a little bit different this evening. We're using a Canon 5D Mark II. It's a colour camera, and if we do land on a decent target, we're going to stack the images live. If I bring up Stellarium, I shall show you where we're looking at the moment. And I'm just doing a focusing routine. Make sure we're focused all right. There we go. That's what we're looking at. Star cluster in Hercules, M13. You can actually see this one with the naked eye on a really good evening when the skies are clear and there's no light pollution. So it's an easy one to find with binoculars. And we are going to be going over to M61 at some point to have a look for the supernova, something that we tried to do the other evening, but we were thwarted by clouds. Right, I'm just going to swing over to Arcturus and there goes the scope, and we're going to set the go-tos and everything and make sure everything's as it should be. So here comes Arcturus, a bright star there. Pretty close but no banana. Right, that's close enough. Let me just synchronise on that. And I'll just test the focus as well. Okay, that's synchronised. Right, take the target off. And I'm just going to do a defocus, check the collimation. That should be concentric rings and that should be dead center, and the three little notches are the mirror mounts, so that looks pretty good for collimation on that. Now we'll focus it right down so we get the diffraction spikes. We should have 4, one up, one down, one left, one right. Here they come, look. But we are zoomed in quite a lot, so the best we can get them. Right, just go to full. Right, that's not bad. That's not bad. Right, do we need a third star for reference, or should we just swing straight over to M61? That is the question. So we've got to do a big flip. We've got to go right across the meridian. So what's near M61? Regulus? Should we try and find Regulus? Yeah, Regulus. We'll pick on that one, nice and bright, and once we've locked onto him we'll hop across to M61. Right, M61's the galaxy with the supernova. The camera is a lot wider field than the mono camera we've been using in the past, so we should pick up a little bit of colour from the actual galaxy itself. The supernova should be easy to identify. I've also got reference pictures from other people's photographs, so we can look for it. I do believe it's starting to fade a little bit. Connection error. Oh, sugar. Right. Oh no, it's back again. Sounds like the USB's cable's pulled out. Got the donut of death because we've slewed the scope right round nearly over 300 degrees. Might have pulled the cable, so I'm gonna have to go and have a check on that in a second. Right, close that and let's start again. Right, we'll just start it up. Right, let's have a look at where we landed. Well, everything seems to have picked up again. Just going to do a bit of a slew, see if we can find regulars. There it is, just off to one side. Just saw it, there it is, just off the left hand side. Just check focus again as we land, and then we'll slew across to M61. I'll start up the live stacking software so we can build up a decent colour picture as we're going along. Right, that'll do. Right, M61. Right, the next target we'll be landing on will be M61. Right, let's do a longer exposure. We'll do 10 seconds to start with, because it's still not properly dark yet. 10 seconds, F5, ISO 1600. Right, let's have a look what's out there. Do one frame out of one, the number of seconds, and the progress indicator at the top. Because these are 25 megabytes in size and it's only USB 2, it takes a few seconds to transfer the image across. Right, let's have a look. It's not properly dark out there yet. So we don't need a magnifier with this setup. Just use the middle scroll wheel on the mouse. Right, I think that's the galaxy just there. Just give it 20 seconds. I think it's going to burn out the whole screen because the skies aren't properly dark yet. Well, I see there's a few of you who arrived, so welcome to the stream. Hopefully it should pick up a little bit. We just had a little whoopsie with the USB disconnecting. It might have been just a tight cable as we're slewing across. Right, now let's tweak some buttons. It's not even properly dark out there yet. I suspect that bit there is where the galaxy is. Because of the fuzzy just there. And the 3 stars in the triangle, I think that bit there. Let me just get the reference image up so we can just check it for the supernova. Right. So we're looking for the 4th one in a line of 3. Slide that out of the way. Let's tweak a little bit. Three, 4. Try another exposure. It's getting darker all the time, so we need the darkness just to get a proper exposure and pick up the details. But that's definitely the area that we need to be looking at. Yeah, I've got a bit of drift on scope. Might start up guiding in a minute. Hey, Ultzian, welcome to the stream again, mate. Right, I think that is the centre of the actual galaxy. That's the centre of M61. But at the moment, it's still too light to get a proper image. Yeah, the histogram, that blue needs to go further over to the left-hand side. Just start seeing some of the details of the galaxy now. At the moment we're struggling because it's too light. Although it looks dark outside, the camera is so sensitive when it's pointing up. Any amount of light coming in through the shutter is bright. We're only doing 20-second exposures at the moment in ISO 1600, and for the Canon 5D Mark II, 1600 ISO 1600 is the absolute spot to be imaging at. It's the most sensitive with the least noise, and 20 seconds at the moment is about all we can get in without blowing out the image. So I'll just do another capture and we'll see what we've got. So we can flick through between the different images. In fact, I'll start up guiding while this one's coming in. Right, we shall go to we'll lock onto that and guide on that, and I'll slide that out of the way. Right, the drift should disappear now. We should stay pretty much centered on the target. So just reset that a second. Yeah, it's still way too bright, way too bright. But that's definitely the area of the galaxy. We just tweak it a little bit, we can pull it out. Start seeing some of the arms. Yeah, that whole area is the galaxy, and looking for 4 stars in a line. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one or that one could possibly, I think that one there possibly might be the supernova. That one there. Let's just bring the reference back in. Oops, let me just reset it. I think we're 90 degrees out. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would make the galaxy somewhere around there. Right, just move that to one side again. Reset that. Yeah, that one's definitely a different colour. That one. Might need to check the focus. Definitely got to, let me just check that. We've got I'm just gonna do a reset on the guiding because we've got a bit of movement there. It's going to take 120 seconds. Right, I'll leave that with that. We'll just do a couple more images on here. As it's getting darker, it should improve quality because you can see how bright it is. We do have some clouds out there, but they're far enough to one side that they shouldn't bother us, even though we might just get a bit of haze. And we're waiting for that blue to come to the left. A little bit. Yeah, you can see the centre of the galaxy there. We just can't pull in detail out for the arms yet. I do have a light pollution filter fitted because my location is half a mile from quite a large town centre, and there are a lot of lights there. So I'll just do another one. What time got? 10:30 just about. Got another 30-40 minutes before it gets to its darkest point. Still not seeing enough there yet. Right, I wonder if you go to a slightly brighter target, an easy one to land on. Let me have a look what's nearby. Lots of galaxies nearby, but they're all very faint. M61 is 9.6. Black Eye Galaxies 8.5. Sunflower, what's that one at? 8.5. Whirlpool, that's a nice easy one. 8.1. .4. Right, let's have a go for M51. Just do one more exposure just in case it's darkened. What we're watching for is that blue indicator to move to the left. That's indicating the most dominant colour when it's further to the centre. Ideally all three should be on that first line just there, and that gives the best results on imaging. It's just not dark enough for me to image it. I'm going to have to do a little bit of research to see who else is imaging it at the moment. Let me just click stop on that, apply. And so I'm just keeping an eye on this, see if I can start to pull any data out. That's the centre of the galaxy, because you can see the fuzzy bit. But because it's not dark enough, we're not able to do a long enough exposure to bring out any detail. The blue's moving in the right direction, so the darkness is slowly making its presence felt. Right, I'm just going to swing over to M52. That should be a bit of an easy target. Go to frame and focus. We might lose USB because there was a tight spot on cable last time it slewed across. So if everything goes gaga, I just have to pop out and reconnect the USB. Hey Samurai, how you going, mate? Welcome back. Genius 2, welcome again, mate. Welcome back. We've just been looking at M61, and the sky is not quite dark enough yet to pick up the galactic arms or anything. So we're just leaving that for a while till the skies darken a little bit more, and we're just slewing over to a slightly brighter target, M52, or what's commonly known, sorry, M51, or what's easily known as the Whirlpool Galaxy. So I'll just swap over to imaging. I'll drop the plan down to 10 seconds, and we'll see how far out we are on the screen for the Whirlpool Galaxy. Not done a reference star, so we've just done a full slew across it, so hopefully it should still be somewhere on the screen. There it is. Yeah, that's it. So we need to get that up. And this one should be relatively easy to position in centre or just off centre. Yeah, we're using the Canon camera this evening. It's a colour camera, and we can stack the captured images live and produce a reasonable quality picture as we're going along. Right, switch back to imaging, and we shall do a 15-second. Hopefully it should be somewhere central. That bit there is the larger part of M51 Whirlpool, and the top part somewhere just up there is the smaller part, and it should be somewhere central around here after this exposure. Now my skies are too light to pick it up. I mean, even now we're struggling. I mean, you can see this is a lot brighter than Comet Y4 Atlas, and even now I'm struggling to pick it up. The skies are not astro dark. I'll show you what I mean, just bear with me a second. Right, I'll bring this across. Right, this is the weather conditions for my location right here in Mansfield, and this band here that's dark blue there goes to yellow, that's midday there, so that's the brightest part of the day. Normally when you're imaging, it's black from, and I mean black, not dark blue, black from here all the way across to 8 o'clock in the evening. It's solid black, and that is proper astro dark. That's good for astronomy. But at the moment it's only going blue, as you can see by the images we're dragging in at the moment. So that's all blue. So let me just tweak this a little bit, and we should be able to pull a little bit of detail on M52, and if it's any good, we'll do a bit of stacking. You can just about see it coming through there. So if I just pop that across there, do that a 20-second and another stab. Hey Tom, good evening mate, welcome. We're just waiting for the best part of the darkness to arrive, and then we're going to go back to M61 and see if we can pull out the supernova. It'll look like a bright star on the edge of a galactic arm. But at the moment we're looking at M51, the Whirlpool Galaxy. Two large galaxies merging into one. The big one eating the little one. And let's see if we can tweak a little bit of detail out of it. just about see the shapes of it. We'll add another 5 seconds on the exposure, see if we can pull a little bit more in. Yes, one is a nice bright target, very, very early in the morning. It comes up at just about the same time as the sun. So unfortunately it's one of those occasions that I can't capture, because when the sun comes up it obliterates any chance I've got of capturing. Right, let's have a look. Right, you can see what I mean about blue skies. I mean, and the haze. You can see a bit of the haze there as well. So it's not exactly the best conditions for astronomy. Let me just check. Try a 30-second now, see if that brings anything extra. Yes, I saw a couple of big flares on the western edges. Somebody else were posting on them from the Urban Astronomy Facebook group. So I've got tomorrow off, and if the skies are clear, which I think they are in the morning, I'm going to set up with the continuum filter and see if I can pick any details up myself. Right, let's have a look what we can pull out now. It's starting to come in. It's starting to come in, but still not perfect. Right, so we've got a bit longer. 45 seconds. Let me just check the guiding. What we like on guiding. Need another 30 seconds to calibrate. Right, I'll just wait 30 seconds before I do the next exposure, because the guiding's trying to calibrate. These are the things that I'd normally do before starting the stream, but as soon as it gets dark, I want to play. Two hours 58 minutes plus 39 for me. Okay, I'm going to have a look in a minute. Have a look in a minute. Let's have a look at this. Right, click stop and apply. Right, the guiding's just coming online, and when that settles, I'll try another image. Bear with it a few seconds. Right, try that. It's not perfect by anybody's standards, but it should get us an image. You like to watch me play. Suffer, I think, is the appropriate expression this evening, because I'm suffering with these bright skies. It's after August, September time when the skies really start coming into their own, and we get some really good opportunities to catch some of the celestial objects. So September is going to be the beginning of a nice season. Hopefully, the pollution from the vehicles in town is going to stay low, give us a few extra months of clear skies, because when the travelling kicks back in, it's going to cause problems again with light pollution. At the moment, it's not actually too bad. Right, here we go. Let's see if we can tweak a little bit on that. Still a bit bright, but yeah, it's starting. When it gets dark, we'll be able to see a lot more detail on that. But I want to go back to the M61 shortly, see if we can find that supernova. And it's 11:15. I think we'll give it till 11:15 on here, because I think about 11 o'clock when it gets properly dark. Just check on the screen. Yeah, 11 o'clock it'll be at its darkest, or just after 11 o'clock. But they've forecast some high clouds at that point. So we're in a no-win situation, but we're going to grab every second we can. So I'll just do another exposure. See that blue part of the spectrum's moving across to the left-hand side where it needs to be. And we should start getting slightly better image quality with the settings that we're using. This software's not got as many of the tools as the other one. This is purely capture software. And the only manipulation we've got is that small graph just there. Yep, it's only just starting to come in. Normally for this target I'd do 75 to 90 second exposures and stack them all together. I suppose I can set up live stack alive. Let me just see where it saves these images, and I'll start a live stack. It's getting slightly better actually. Right, just take away the colour detail for a second and see what we can pull out. Just check the stars. There's a slight bit of movement on there, it's coma. Put it back into colour. Reset. Yeah, it's we're fighting the light. It's the wrong season for us at the minute. It's really frustrating. Right, let me have a look. What's the Pinwheel Galaxy at? Right, plan B, let's go and have a look at a different target. a look. And we'll drop that down to about 30. Right, let's see what appears on screen this time, or just off. I think it's only the brighter targets that are going to be accessible for anything reasonable for imaging. It's there again when you just bring it across. Right, to that one. Right, see what that's got us, see if we've got in the right direction. Well, Swan for me, I'll just bring it up. I think I might have got swung too far on that one. Bear with me. I'll just bring Swan up on my stellarium, and I'll see how close it is. HIP 13879. Yeah, it's just in front of Y4 Atlas, so I'm not going to actually get it. Let me just bring it over and I'll show you. Right, there's Atlas, and I'm struggling to pick that one up. And if I get rid of the ground, that's where Swan is, just there, in that area just there. And we're looking at, I think I've got it right, HIP 13879. Yep, that's where it is. Bring that across. That's HIP 13879 just there. So we're right close next to it. So, and it's not on screen. And this is a really wide camera. And if you have a look, put the ground indicator back on. And the telescope will be pointing through my kitchen window at that. My limiting horizon is 30 degrees, so it has to be above that line there for me to pick anything up in that direction. And at 9:30 it's just below it, and 9:30 it's still quite bright daylight, so it's just too bright to even contemplate. 7 and 8 o'clock it's up here, but at that sort of time it's bright daylight and bright sun, so not much chance of seeing anything. Right, let's have a look at this. Let's see where we are. Bear with me a second. I'm just going to tweak a bit. Right, reset that. And give that a go. At a very short exposure, all the light's in the right direction, but the target we're looking at is not bright enough to be picked up at that exposure level. So we've just got to tweak a little bit. I can't even get it in early morning, because as the sun comes up at about 3:30, starts getting bright at 3:30, the light swamps anything out, so I can't even pick it up in the early morning. Right, okay, I think we've got clouds again. Look at that basket. Oh, I nearly swore then. We've got clouds coming in. That's that. Sorry guys, I lose it. My patience wears thin with the weather at the minute. Look how the sky's forcing out all the brighter stars. Let's just do another one, see if it's a bank moving through. Yeah, before I started streaming, what I'd normally do this time of the evening with these sort of skies, I'd be flicking from target to target, looking for blank spaces between the clouds, just so I can have a look, possibly take a few pictures. But at the moment, every which way that I turn, I seem to be finding clouds. It technically is the wrong time of year for anything unless it's super bright targets. And there are not even any planets high enough for me to take a shot at. Right, bear with me a second. Looking for something nice and bright to reference. There's a good one. Acellus Primus, a nice starting system for Elite Dangerous. Let's see if we can land on that one for a minute and just centralise the scope. So there should be a dim star coming onto there it is. That'll be a Acellus Primus. That's how far out we were, and that's what roughly I thought where the galaxy was. I think that's close enough to sync onto. Yeah, job done. Yeah, if anybody ever plays Elite Dangerous, let me know. Especially if it's on PlayStation. Right, going back to Pinwheel Galaxy, see if we can pick it up. That's just under Mag 8. So there's a fair chance we should be able to pick a little bit of data up on it. Go to imaging, and we'll start a quick capture, even while the scope's wobbling. Now, Atlas is really elusive. We had the sweet time early on when we got the break up, and I was just managing to capture it before it started getting too low. So it was like a balancing act. If I left it any later, it'd be below the horizon. If I started any earlier, it'd be bright daylight. So we just got, I think we got about 45 minutes to an hour on target. Yeah, I can see it now. The galaxy's just there, but there's cloud up there, high haze. I think we ought to write a song called High Haze in the Heavens. Right, let's whack it up to 45 seconds. Let's have a look at guiding. Lock onto that. Right, let's see what comes in this time. Let's bring the Stellarium up, see what planets are available to us. I suspect 0 because of the time of year. Beehive cluster. Iris Nebula. Where's that pointing at the minute? Northeast, that's where the clouds are. Right, what's this bought? More haze. I think I'm going to sell my telescope and take up knitting. Right, let me have a look where this point is sending all the pictures. Download folder. Desktop, new folder. Okay. Let me just check my desktop if I've got a new folder on there. I have indeed. Right, let me select all those and deposit them in the appropriate receptacle, the bin. Right, that's that started. Now I am going to start Deep Sky Stacker Live. There we go, set that up over here, and here we go, just do another exposure on that. I'm going to set this up to monitor that particular folder, and it should stack all these and bring a little bit of detail out for us, give us something to look at least. Tablet time. Right, let's take 5. No, we'll take 10 of those at that. I'll let guiding centralize itself, and then we'll stack 10 images from there. Although we can't see very much here in this particular single frame, when the stacking starts, it should pull in a lot of data and get rid of a lot of noise. So we should be able to see the spiral galaxy centre screen. Right, there we go. We're starting a capture of 10 frames, each one 45 seconds long, and the guiding is rough at the minute, so it should hopefully keep us pretty central on target for long enough for us to capture a few images. I bought myself a small studio mic as well, so I'll be swapping from the headset mic that I'm currently using to a more appropriate studio mic, because I'm starting to enjoy this streaming malarkey. And it should get better as the nights get darker and more consistent for imaging. Right, here comes the first one. I'll check the imaging stacking software. Right, waiting for that to play with the data, and then I'll pop it up on screen. Right, here we go, that's the first one stacked. Right, you can watch it as I watch it, see what happens. Because each file is at minimum 25 megabytes, it's working a little bit harder than normal. All 16 processors are doing a bit, Well, I don't think you're able to see it on your screen, but I can see a bit of data on here in the middle. Right, let's see if we can. Something's moving, not playing the game, it's not stacking very well. Don't you love software when it doesn't do what it's supposed to do? Well, something's really hammering the processors at the minute. And I can't see it being this software. It should eat this software for breakfast. Let's have a look which processors. OBS Studio's taking up a lot of the memory, and Deep Sky Stack is only taking 8%. So it shouldn't be this. I can't understand why it's why it's not lining up properly. I suppose what I could do, I could click stop and let it restart again from the beginning. Let's see what camera software is doing. It's cloudy still. What we on? 7 of 10. Yeah. It's hiding in the murk. Counting the stars. It's got better eyes than me. Right, it's counting the stars, so it's counting the stars. We must be able to identify them to stack them properly. Right, let's start monitoring. Right, start from the beginning and stack. Right, we'll let that sort itself out. And let's go across to the camera. It's so frustrating seeing all that cloud there again. What we got? 10 past 11. Right, we'll let these last two images come in. We'll see if something meaningful stacks as it's running out. So it's not gone double stars now. Now there's a lot of cloud. It's stopping us from playing. Right, it's doing the last frame now, so we'll see what happens after this last frame comes out. See if this stacks anything meaningful. OBS 15%. Right, that's end of sequence. Now this should speed up a little bit now. Because it should release all the processing power from the capture software, and they should grab all the CPU space it needs, in theory, but you know what theories are like. 3 frames stacked, 2 minutes and 15 seconds worth, so that's 3 frames, and it's still counting stars up there. It can see a lot more stars than what I can. That's it, whatever process was running in the background is stopped now, and this is doing what it should be doing. Well, so much for full colour pictures. If you like grey clouds, look at this in full glorious colour. That's stacked 6. Four minutes 30 seconds. Why has it stopped? Well, we're not doing very well this evening. Everything we point the telescope at is hiding behind the clouds because they're shy. Right, let me just bring up M61 on the stellarium, and we'll see if we can pick up anything from there. Well, Juno's going by, so that might be worth a bit of a look at. Right, we'll just go reference on Denobula. Let me stop the I'll just bring you a look at the guiding. If you look at the guiding, the drift's a little bit horizontal, but most of it's concentrated in there. That looks like a mess, but it's 1 arc second from top to centre line. And if you drop it to 8, that's a reasonable guiding profile, that is. So I'm just going to stop it for a minute, put it on that, move this out of the way, start that, and we're going to slew over to Denobula. We're going to reference that to start. Put that in frame and focus. Right, we're looking for a bright star to sit central on screen, or just come by centre of screen. have a look at reference. Right, I didn't see it flash by, so let's have a quick look round. What time we got? 20 past 11 nearly. Ah, there it is, top left hand screen there. So if I bring it there, that's close enough. Synchronise on that. Wow, lots of satellites going by on the screen. Scope, search, M61. Current object, slow. Right, we're now going back to the main galaxy with the supernova. And it should be reasonably central. So let's move that one slightly out of the way. Just use one exposure, 45 seconds, and do it as a test to see what's going to come out for us. Right, fingers crossed. Oops, let me just rename this folder. There we go. So keep the different images in different folders. So this one will be in the new folder, and I've just renamed the old one with the other galaxy, folder 1, so we can go reference them later on. Right, a lot of cloud on this side. I can see something central, but it's not a lot. Just about to see, that's the centre of galaxy. Right, let me start a new stack. Right, bear with me, I'm going to start a fresh instance of Deep Sky Stacker. Bring that back up. Right, reset that. At 45. Right, see if you're having a better look with this one. You see the histogram's gone more central, so there's a lot more grey cloud over there causing grief, but we can actually see a little bit of galaxy shape just there. Might be all we need just to pull it out the background. I can see it there, look. Right, that view there on screen now is pixel for pixel. That's 100%, so we can zoom right out. That's the full frame, and they're 100% pixel pixel. Move that out of the way. I'm getting that feeling that we're not going to be able to capture much again this evening. The clouds seem to be having a more and more powerful influence wherever we point the scope. So we'll just ride with it for a bit and see if we can pull anything out of the stacked image. Right. I think that the most memorable thing over the last couple of nights is the intensity of cloud and how persistent they are. They, night after night, wear you down to the point of thinking, is it worth setting up tonight? Is it going to be that night where we get something? And at the moment I'm getting really miffed with the weather. Even though I can see the odd star out there, I can see a very thin haze of cloud. The weather forecast, if I can drag that up again, is in the red. For Mansfield, look, in the red, 81% cloud cover. So it's going to be 1 o'clock when it drops down to less than 15%. The wind's playing the game. That's dropped down to virtually zero. Humidity's up as well. It never ends. Right, bring that back out of the way. Right, what we're stacked up like. I think I should perhaps stay with the mono camera, because I get just as good exposures, but at a shorter exposure length. What's going to be a bright target round this side of the we're at about 35 degrees. That's another reason. Going way low on the horizon. deep sky is crashed. Right, let's start that one again. Right, that had crashed for some reason. Right, we seem to be having lots of luck this evening, all of it bad. And if it weren't for bad luck, we wouldn't have any luck whatsoever. And I'm wondering if that is a hot pixel or the supernova. No, I think it's a hot pixel. Well, there's 3 stars in a line. Can't see the 4th one. Let's bring up that image again. Move that out of the way. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2 together there. That could possibly be it just there. Ah, don't you just love clouds? Right, are we stacking anything? Let's have a look. Nope, not dragging anything out. Right, so we're struggling this evening again. The weather is fighting back every which way it can. Let's have a look. Right, let's pop over to Mizar and get a reference over there. The guidance was looking pretty good there. Current object, slew. Right, go back to live view. And we're looking for 2 stars close by each other as a reference. There, they call those 2 there. And if we zoom into that, we can now set the focus just to There we go, that's got good separation. That's a double star Mizar. Zoom back out, and we've actually selected that bottom. So if I get that in centre, right, I can sync on that. Right, we've got focus pretty well sorted. So let's have a quick go on a colourful galaxy that should be bright enough for us to pick up. Right, let's see what comes out of this one. I'm getting ready for a cup of tea, tell you that for nothing. My daughter's upstairs playing on a computer. 7 days to die. Keeps her busy. She's got no work tomorrow. I've got no work tomorrow. I'm gonna potter, I think, and keep my feet up for a bit. Right, what we got? There we go. There we go. That should have some nice colour. So if we bring that more central to about there, move that star to about top there. Can't even see it. See if I slewed in the right direction. Oh, I think we're heading towards some street lights somewhere. What's our horizon at? 56 degrees. Why have we got all the red lights coming in? This one should bring some nice colours in. It's quite an easy target, and it looks pretty good on a colour camera. If I've slewed in the right direction. Yeah, I need to go a little bit more. Right, that'll do for that one. Let's see if there's a reference star to image on. Two seconds. Okay, tools, guiding assistance. Right, I can do that. It's business over there. Get rid of that image, and let's give it 45 seconds. See what sort of colours we can pull out on that. Then I'll have another go with this Deep Sky Stack Alive. 45 might be a bit much. Try that. Right. I have absolutely no idea why this stacking software keeps going to OneDrive when I specifically tell it not to. Right, let's have a look what this is going to do. Clouds. Total clouds. That gap that I aimed for disappeared. This is why I'm as bald as a coot. If I had hair, I'd be pulling it out. I'll even go upstairs and go get the box from under the bed. Right, what's it going to do for us this time? Clouds. Still see the galaxy, but all I can see is clouds. Right, I'm going to call it at that because we just seem to be dancing with the clouds. Got our heads in the clouds, and it's frustrating. We're not going to get anything meaningful this evening. So I'll say sorry for the stream, sorry for the weather, and perhaps better luck next time. I'm going to call it at that, and keep an eye out for when I go live. Hopefully I'll have some clearer weather, and if it's in the morning time and I get a chance to go and point the scope at the sun, we'll see if we can find some of those prominences. So for this evening, my name's Andy. Sorry for the disappointing stream, and I'll bid you all a nice evening. Sorry, have a nice one. Cheers.